list of victims that Diddy has, man, you know, who do you think got it the worst?
Lil Rod got it the worst. He ain't get no money. He got his case took over and over and over. He woke up, he said, I went to sleep in the bed with a woman. He woke up to Diddy smiling at him. He is the biggest victim in the case. Cam, if you went to sleep with a woman and woke up and seen Diddy right there laughing at you, it's finna get crazy in the spot. Come on, man. That's what I'm trying to tell people. If you see something, say something. Because the guy named Lil Rod, he can't be no giant guy. Pause. Whoa. Yo. He can't be no super giant guy in stature. I know he got promised things. He ain't get it. So he trying to cash in best way he can. He gonna think about them store cakes for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he is, man. You know, I also seen that Aubrey O'Day was talking about that there was an affidavit from another lady that said that she walked into a room and seen her like I don't know, a semi-unconscious or you know, not really fully aware, like she had been drugged with Diddy and another dude. And the chick, Aubrey O'Day, she got no recollection at all of this ever happening. So she doesn't even know if she's ever been raped or not.
Yeah, and a kid take 3 weeks. So, you feel me? And you got to go get that done as soon as it happened. And you know, as soon as you take a shower, they can't even do a kid no more. So, this is something I know because I combat human trafficking. You feel me? And I try to tell people, like, it ain't as easy as you think to just get a done, because you have the burden of proof to show that something even happened to you. It's a dirty game, and you got people acting perfect. That's what leads to a lot of problems in this whole game right here, because you know, once they came out that once the Punisher got done finishing and then that should have been a life sentence. He should have got life just for that. Folks' grave.
Phone them.
And ain't nobody saying free Diddy. Get the on. Because a lot of these sit right there with the Punisher. They rub it on their forehead. That's why I don't let talk crazy to me, because I know for a fact to do something like that to me, I got to be dead already on SA. Free Dugard.
Did you
wild, Cam?
That is wild, man. Did you see the other sex workers say that Diddy started whooping on Cassie in the middle of a freak off?
They should have rolled his right then and there. But don't nobody want to miss that check. That's wild as hell. That's why I told people her and Diddy had a trauma bond. It's hard to get past that trauma bond. That's why I don't take pimp and hoe calls on retrievals, because you would get there, you would have the pimp with the perm and the headlock. She finna spray you with mace. That's what we doing. That's what's going on. So trauma bonds is real. It's powerful. It ain't no way you got a zest monster stomping you out. Pause. This is out of control, Cam. Just think about that, though. Just think about that. One of the documents said while the Punisher is finishing, Diddy's sitting side by side with Cassie. So
Schoolgirl is OB Media. Big Homie goes crazy, and he said that Diddy is a zest monster. He said that out of all of the victims, Lil Rod got it the worst, because Diddy take his cakes over and over. You go to bed, sometimes girls are in the bed, next time you wake, Diddy is in the bed, and your ass is sore. Man, Diddy is really the booty bandit, man. He's a serial booty taker, because this ninja be taking a lot of cakes. So understand that a lot of people are saying that Diddy really like the gay shit. He really like the gay shit, man. Because when the Punisher is finished, Diddy take the cum and rub it on his nipples. Man, that shit is diabolical. But it is what it is, man. You need to watch the full video. Let's get it.
some of it could get on him.
Right. The one bodyguard, I mean, not bodyguard, the one guy, the one sex worker said that eventually Diddy started joining in.
Lord have mercy. Woo! The conversation getting evil. Evil world we live in.
Well, they saying that Puffy took the Rolling Stones cover from Biggie. Biggie was supposed to be on the Rolling Stones, and Puff ended it so he could be on it.
Bro, when I seen in the documentary that he charged Biggie's funeral to Biggie's budget for his estate, I believe that. When you see the contracts that everybody got, where they promising to make you famous but to keep you broke, I believe that. Like, I've been around these type of people, like, they believe that all publicity is good publicity. So you see in the footage when he calling the lawyers trying to tell them what to do, saying, we're losing the public image battle. That's what it's all about for him, his public image. He don't care about nobody else but himself.
Right. They offered them fame but no fortune. You gotta pay people, bro. That's why they all coming out with these stories now, because you ain't paying right.
Bingo. Imagine that. If you imagine being Cam Capone News, you getting all these gory details. So, yeah, sign this contract, you feel me? You get paid 10 years from now. You will have the most diss videos on the internet over anybody else.
Right. If you promise to pay somebody and you don't pay them,
and you a billionaire?
They ain't gonna forget that shit, bro. That's, man, they gonna, at some point, if they got the opportunity to get you, they gonna get you.
They gonna get
20 years, 30 years later, it don't matter, bro. If you, especially like Little Rob with $250,000, bro, hell, you think he's not gonna tell his story? Of course he's gonna tell his story, bro.
How much you think he got paid by Netflix and 50 Cent? You think he recouped yet?
Nah, I don't think he recouped. But
so what's that mean?
You know,
he can't recoup his cheeks. You feel me? The case can't get recouped. Diddy should have never hired an outside camera team, period. But he was being cheap. Being cheap cost him in the end. Pay people what they deserve, man. Point blank, period.
Yeah, not paying the cameraman is crazy, man. But I mean, that's Diddy, man. That's what he been doing. Now they say that they changed the contract after Biggie died. Like, I guess they were renegotiating the contract, and he got killed in the middle of it.
Right.
And they had already had some stuff worked out, so they redid some of the stuff to make it more favorable to Diddy.
So they did this posthumously.
Right. Yeah.
Got to be more careful. That's as foul as you can get. You changing the contract for a dead man? Because he said he had power of attorney, so that means he had the power to sign his signature. And Biggie couldn't read or write; he was illiterate. So I believe that.
What do you think about Diddy's friends who act like they didn't know what was going on?
Playing dumb for access. And this is something that I've had confrontations with celebrities about, because I'll see them complain about not having no real friends. But like, brotherhood is very important, because your brothers are going to hold you accountable. They're going to tell you when you tripping. Normally what I see is, soon as somebody try to hold some of these people accountable, they immediately ban them from having access. Because, once you get to superstardom, you're able to put yourself in this bubble. And that's how the whole term about yes men come around. Simple as that. You don't want nobody telling you that's probably not a good idea. When Gene Deal told him, I got intel, they coming to kill us tonight, what'd he say? Oh, I want to hear that, Gene, we going. What? Those same character flaws are what led to this right here. You feel me? Adrian English said the same thing. I'm gonna have Brian contact her to get her up here for you, because Adrian English went super viral when she came out with her story about being one of the ladies that was called for constant freak-offs. You feel me? She came out with her story because they wouldn't pay.
Yeah. Well, 50 Cent and Marlon Wayans got into it. And, you know, one of the funniest things was Marlon Wayans. He's saying, like, I've been going to Diddy parties for 25 years and I ain't never seen nothing. And, you know, 50, like, in the video, they're kind of making it seem like, yeah, like, okay, sure. You've been going to all these Diddy, but you ain't heard nothing? And then they got the clip where he's like saying, I ain't never heard of none of this stuff from Diddy. And, you know, kind of like, you know, making it seem like, you know, like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like Marlon Wayne's like, for sure. You never heard nothing?
Why
nothing,
he wasn't in court?
At all?
Why didn't he make a good character reference in court then? Why he didn't say nothing until after he got sentenced? That's the same dude who helped make White Chicks, right?
Yes.
He's a super as well. I know things about him, but I ain't gonna say nothing. It's a zest apocalypse. Guard your cakes. Protect women and children. They trying to take everything. Lame ass. Stupid man.
Well, Roger, Diddy's former bodyguard, Roger Bonds said that Diddy was getting the God syndrome, kind of like God complex.
That's something I've seen a lot as well, where guys start to develop this superiority complex. And, you know, I always tell people that I respect to watch any man who compares himself to God. And shout out my boy Ro. Ro had sent me a video earlier where Diddy was comparing himself to Jesus. If you look at all biblical texts or historical religious reference, only demons try to imitate or compare themselves to God. So that's something that a demon would do.
Interesting, man. You know, do you deal with this type of stuff a lot with celebrities?
All the time. And most celebrities I know live in middle class. So when I see them doing the little rants, treating everybody like shit, I be looking like, man, you not even rich. You just famous. You know, when you come to these type of situations, you know, insanity will always become a problem because, you know, no man is meant to be anatomically worshipped. So once you start worshiping a person who doesn't have immortality, they're not going to make just choices or decisions. To be like God means to have empathy, and you're going to treat a roach the same way you treat a person. A life is a life to somebody that's an all-seeing force. Fourth grade.
They start treating people like they're less.
Yup.
More and more often, and it just gets worse and worse. And you know, like you said, nobody really checks them because if they try to check them or talk to them, they just kick them right out of their circle and they don't give them access no more. You know, it's like
you can't even come around no more.
Yeah. Man, that's
a dirty game, Cam. Now remember, I was telling people this in their first interview that hit 1 million. This is the same things we've been talking about along the course of all the rest of the interviews. It lead up to this moment. And, you know, I feel like there's more documentaries coming. I feel like there's more people going to start to come out because content is king now. And every platform, every big company, you know, they trying to get in while the getting is good.
Facts. Yeah, man. You know, there's a lot of people really doing a lot with shows and really turning it up lately, which is cool. You know, a lot of people gonna be able to make a lot more money. So
absolutely,
that's definitely dope. You know, one of the most surprising things that I thought we had heard all the Kid Cudi stuff that we could hear, but in this documentary, his assistant comes out and she says that Diddy found out Cassie was with Kid Cudi and he kidnapped her, made her go to Kid Cudi's house, and he planned on killing her. I mean, killing him, killing Kid Cudi. You know, and this was crazy, bro. And this was crazy because this was up on Cassie's part.
For sure.
Because she said, she was like, I didn't want Kid Cudi around, but Cassie, she kind of forced it, brought Kid Cudi around, Diddy finds out, and she ends up getting fired. So now Cassie, she up too. Like,
sure.
yeah, come on, bro.
For sure.
You know, Diddy's this crazy, jealous person, and you bringing another dude around the assistant, you with her life and her job. But that was crazy. I thought that was one of the crazy stories from there that we never heard. Like, Diddy's a fool.
That come with a trauma bond, because anybody who's investigated trauma bondsmanship, the abused always tend to idolize or worship their abuser. I've seen it over and over and over. Those same principles apply to this situation. And whenever there's drugs and alcohol involved, you know, you got somebody who got unlimited money, so you can always live in a hypnotized state. People don't tend to reconcile with all of these things until after rehab or a detox. And after Cassie got out of rehab, that's when she filed the lawsuit.
So it took her getting off drugs to, you know, like, oh, okay, I was doing all this stuff I shouldn't have been doing, and Diddy was taking advantage, and he was putting me on drugs and ecstasy and all these other drugs, and now it's time for me to get paid.
Pretty ladies always play for keeps.
Well, you know, one of the things that has been going on, man, that I've been seeing a lot is people are saying that 50 Cent is snitching on Diddy mostly because of the Tupac stuff that he put in the documentary, man.
Snitching is when two people commit a crime and one of them tells on the other, man. Snitching is when you are telling about criminal organizations or operations as a criminal. They basically trying to say that the old lady sitting on her porch whose windows got shot out, she called the police. They trying to say that's snitching. So I don't know what's going on out here or what dork is making the rules of the street, but no snitching is going on. This is why I tell people the streets is over with. You got Revenge of the Nerds calling what's street rules and principles. How does that even make sense? This got to be a simulation, because that's a paradox within itself. So everybody that's watching, to all of the people, this is not snitching. Is 50 on the stand testifying against somebody? No. Stupid man. No, he's not. So for everybody watching, y'all is not in the street. Y'all is not criminals. Enjoy the content. Enjoy your civilian life. Because moving like that, you're not going to last a day in the streets, man. How is that snitching and he ain't testifying on nobody? No paperwork where he made no statements in a criminal complaint. And they calling that snitching. Ridiculous, man. Do better, people. Shit's crazy.
Well, with Diddy and 50, you know, it seems like that beef is getting, you know, really serious. You know, I remember you telling me in an earlier interview that guys like 50, like, they play different.
For sure.
Like a Diddy, like you beef with a Diddy, and he might hire a private investigator to follow you around. Right.
And Diddy playing crazy, and you in the belly of the beast. You know, he could put $500 on 5 people's books and we never see you again, bro. Think about that. So that's right. How you know, like, this ain't no criminal going on. It's entertainment business happening. You feel me? It's a dirty game. You know, if I was Diddy, I wouldn't be having no problems with 50. You in a New York jail. Who you think got more power in there? 50 or him?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think they both pretty powerful, bro. They both got the bag, man.
One of them is free, though, Cam.
One of them is free. You know, you still gotta, you know, you gotta get that message in there. I guess you could do it with cell phones nowadays, you know, but
people still writing,
you know, Diddy's probably You know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably made alliances in there. He's probably paying a lot of people to protect him.
This interview is interesting, man. Diddy is a really zesty type of ninja. This ninja freaky because you was getting male escorts to bang your chick while you watching masturbate, and then you rub the cum on your nipples. So Diddy was a real sucker, but most of these girls that was doing the freak off, they wanted to do this shit, man. So I understand that 50 Cent is taking the shit with his baby mother personal, because Diddy was just wrong for doing that, because you and Diddy been beefing for so long, so you choose to go sleep with my baby mom? Why would you do that, Diddy? So Diddy was just a real sucker, and he was trying so hard to get 50 Cent butt. But 50 Cent wasn't on that timing. He wanted to take 50 Cent shopping. He wanted to say, Playboy, let me take you shopping. Let's party with Puff Daddy. So 50 wasn't having that shit, man, because 50 ain't a queer ninja. These ninjas are just gay to me, because Diddy want to take people shopping, want to wear matching clothes. So I got to realize that most of these rappers that Diddy are taking shopping are Diddy boy toys, because Meek Mill and Diddy had something special going on, wearing matching clothes. Diddy be calling him daddy in the pool. So I got to realize that some of these ninjas are just fruity, and they like things. They like guys to buy them bags, buy them jewelries like they're girls. So Little Rod was getting a lot of promises, and he believed in Diddy. Diddy was gonna give him $250,000 and was gonna make him be the best producer at the Grammys. So we continue giving Diddy his cakes, and he can't recoup those cakes, man. Diddy been taking those cakes for a long time, and Little Rod did not go look for his family. So you like the experience. You was living your best life, because Diddy was getting girls for you so that you can sleep with them. So no way. Every time you wake, you say that you was drugged pretty often and your ass is sore, and you did not do nothing, not even wobble to the kitchen, get a knife. Man, Little Rod was a swinger. You can't tell me nothing. You are a swinger. You're a gay ninja. Just because Diddy did not give you what he promised you, you're trying to file a lawsuit. So most of these ninjas that are coming out said that Diddy sexually assaulted them. I don't sorry for these ninjas. They wanted that shit. They wanted the lifestyle. So Diddy take advantage, because Diddy ain't turning down booty. He's always up to that timing, man. This ninja is a freak up the century. So a lot of people are saying that 50 Cent is petty for building a documentary on Diddy, but 50 Cent did the right thing for the culture, because everyone needed to hear the truth and the demon that Diddy really is, because Diddy is a real monster. He's the zest monster, man, and the booty bandit. He be taking a lot of cakes. Diddy be taking, man. And then you're gonna say that you think that you're a god. Diddy, you're not God. Get out of here with that bullshit, man. You needed to be behind bars, because you were a sucker. That's what you get for doing people wrong. It is what it is, man. It's OB Media. Have a blessed day.
I need for some of y'all to understand what a trauma bond is. A trauma bond is when you bond to somebody through trauma. The two of you have experienced trauma together. It can feel like a twin flame. It could even feel like that's your soulmate, especially if it's in a romantic relationship. This Cassie and Diddy case is exposing a lot of you. It's exposing you for exactly who you are and exactly who you've been. Cassie was bonded to Diddy through trauma. And when she didn't have that trauma in her life, she desired it. She craved it. It was like an addiction, because it is an addiction. So when you say, why didn't she leave? And when you ask this question, you're asking it of every single person that has experienced this level of abuse and trauma. She didn't leave all those times because she didn't know how. She experienced so much trauma that she lost herself. She had no clue which way was up and which way was out. Unless you have been in this type of relationship, you should just shut your mouth. This isn't your stuff to comment on. You should keep it pushing, keep it moving. Because when you're in this type of relationship, you are a hair away from losing your mind, from losing your soul, and losing your life. Cassie left when she could, when she felt she could without losing her life. Trauma bonds are incredibly hard to break. If you've been in one or you're in one currently, I beg you to look at your community, your resources, and get out. Create a plan to leave. And for those of you that said she should have left, that is why she didn't. Trauma bonds.